Hi guys, we're back on Balanced, and today is a very special day because confession, I'm about to go vote for the first time in my 28 years of living, and I'm actually quite excited. Just because I think most of all, I want to be in the vibes. When I was growing up, or rather the two past elections that we've had, I've missed them and I've had major FOMO when I've seen these black marks post election day and people really feel cool. So from tomorrow onwards, I'm gonna be just here. So follow me today as I go through my journey. And at this stage, maybe later, I might just give you insights on who I voted for. But to say that I'm actually confident, I'd be lying. So who knows? I might just mix things up. I might just do a young yellow, young red. We don't know what's going to happen. But I'm here and I'm ready. And why vote for you, you know? So I've prepared for my first vote because I've managed to lead a campaign and like not having voted before and now being in a position where we're leading an election campaign around social justice for young women and encouraging young women to vote. It's kind of hard to ignore the conversations and to get involved now. It's to separate yourself from leading a campaign through an organization versus your own personal growth and the decisions you've made to vote. It's hard to ignore. The reasons why I then decided to vote were not necessarily choosing a party which I believed in, but I prepared in the way of saying, what do I want to see change as a young woman? And what would I want to see come 2020, come 2030? How do I want to bring my own children in the world, and starting to think about that. And I think the way I've prepared is to look at the current situation and reflect and think about what I want to come out of the elections, which is change and really prioritizing the needs of young women and those that are around me. I think the power to vote and the right to vote allows me to have a right to hold our political parties accountable, to hold our leaders accountable, to make the noise and actually feel like I need to be heard. I feel like prior to this 2019 election year, I have just taken a seat back. And like I say, feeling like FOMO. People are woke, stay woke, just vote. We woke now. We cannot ignore, we cannot sit back any longer. And I am taking the power back, at least by first deciding that today I'm going to put my fingerprint and make that vote.
Hello, friend.
Thank you for coming with me to vote for the first time.
Absolute pleasure, my babe.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling empowered. How are you feeling?
I feel good. Like, I took some time when I was looking at this list of parties.
Massive list.
We were speaking about Women's Forward, or Women Forward rather, and I really wanted to take it all in. And give myself a moment. When we finally got to the station where we could vote, it was like, okay, cool, done with the admin, which we had to go through with re-registering.
Yeah.
But I took some time and I feel confident in at least the process. I feel good about even getting the opportunity on my own now. One last reflection and voting. And I have faith that change is to come. It's happening and we are watching. And that's another thing that I feel good about. I feel good that I've got a platform and the right to say, we're watching you. We're watching you, political parties. This is the day. There's going to be a results center. We're going to be there as well. We want to capture those moments. We hope to find you there. And yeah, we want to hold you to account. Are they really serving women? Are they factoring in all those issues as well?
Yeah. So I think that issue can be addressed by having real uncorrupted female leaders in different government sectors. I think we need real representation.
Absolutely.
Because that's the only way that, I mean, like, men issues are very vastly different to women issues. So we need that representation. We need someone who's not corrupted. We need someone who,
because females
has
can be
values.
corrupt as well.
Absolutely.
Women can be corrupt. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think women who have backbone, women who understand that how we set the tone today will leave something for our kids and our daughters. So I think voting has always been a responsible and doing it out of duty also, right? Being a responsible person. But I think this year I was a little bit more conscious about my decision making. And, like, I'm much older now. Much older 30-year-old, so I'm more aware, and I'm not as influenced by the decisions that my friends are making or that my parents are making. I'm thinking independently, and I'm quite comfortable in my own space and being an independent thinker. So I, without going into too much detail about who I voted for, I will say that, like, I really, really am digging a particular party in red that has been quite disruptive, and I think, I think the ANC has done a phenomenal job over the years. We can't dispute the work that they've done, but they need to be held accountable, and someone needs to question them when they need to be questioned. So
all parties, right?
All parties, absolutely. And I think for me, it's always been a no-brainer. It's been like pro ANC, and I'm a big believer of the movement. But we have to be able to hold our leaders accountable. They need to hear our voices. They need to show that they're hearing our voices. So
absolutely.
If you're saying that you hear, you understand the issues of women dynamics, what are you doing about it? Is there budget that's put forward to see like campaigns like this and stuff? Not just campaigns, like, what are you doing to empower women
every day? Yeah.
So, guys, did you vote, and why, and how do you feel?
Yes, we voted.
Definitely.
Okay. I think for me, the party that I voted for resonates with me. I mean, there's a lot that still needs to be done, but I think out of all the options that we have presented to us, that's the best option.
Is voting important to you? Like, what is the symbolism of today, the power? Does it give you power? How do you feel about, what do you think the right to vote means for you?
Look, I think it's important to cast your vote so that your voice can be heard. I mean, however you put it, but I think it's important that you cast your vote.
So personally, I think it was the third time I was voting, and the first time I think it meant something different. I mean, you're a first-time voter, so I mean, we live in a time where we're quite opinionated about what we want to be done in society. But I think the first time was me actually feeling like I'm part of society, and I'm speaking in a different way. So it meant something different. And I think at the time, with the president that was put in power, it was more about having a president who was going to deal with like the social needs of our people. So we all believed that he was going to bridge the gap. And then that didn't happen. So the gap between then and now is, can we still believe in the party, and can we believe that they can actually follow through with what they've promised? So it's a vote of hope and blind faith. Hoping that, at the next 10 years, something will be done, and it'll be done right.
What would you like to see change? If it's one thing that you think for you, it can be at work, it can be at home, it can be anywhere that you think, if this, I would like. Yeah.
I think there's one thing I can think of now that I feel quite strongly about. It's the role that women play in the economy. I think we're making strides. There is a bit of an improvement over the past couple years, but I think we still have a very long way to go, just to ensure that they take a bigger piece of the pie, or there's a greater percentage of them playing roles and significant roles too, not just any roles. Yeah.
And you?
I think same as Snare, women, but more than just women, I think the youth. I think, yes, the older generation has done well in paving the way, but I think they need to get to a point where they pass the baton and they say, okay, we have done well, we've groomed the youth, and we can actually entrust them with being in
Taking
positions of
responsibility.
power. Yeah, positions of power. I think there needs to be a shift.
Do you think there's a do you feel that there needs to be a lot more done to prioritize the youth voice?
Yeah.
Definitely.
And what
Yeah.
would you what are your feelings? What do you use?
I was saying to Snare earlier on, because we saw a post on Instagram where Bonang did a live story with Cyril and encouraging people to go
Yeah,
vote.
to go vote.
And I think I was having a conversation about how there's this lady that I know of who's part of the people that travels with the president. She's very young. So I was saying that in as much as we're not seeing the youth at the forefront, a lot of the teams and all the people that are working in the background, there is a lot of youth influence. I think maybe slowly but surely there is something being done. And I mean, we see it through the different voices with the EFF. You know, I mean, in as much as it's a I call it a breakaway party, but they were groomed and they grew up in the ANC.
Yeah.
You know, so it's also nice to someone actually put up a post and said, politics aside, Julius was 32 when he started his party, and now he's like the biggest opponent. And that's actually quite inspiring for you to say that, well, regardless of politics and whatever noise, you can actually be brave and do something. That's the democratic country we live in, where you can act. I mean, it's unheard of, even in the most liberal country, the United States. You never hear of that happening. You know, where you get a young person at 32 saying,
Starting a
I'm going to
parliament.
challenge the national government. I'm going to start my own party and have a voice and you know, follow through with it. So, I mean, it's not all bad. You know, I think time will tell. We're still a young democracy.
We still have to ask the questions. Why are we voting for you? Why vote for you? So thank you for tuning in. It's Andile, Balanced, brought to you by Noche Tuhuru, in partnership with Soul City, The Total Shutdown, Corruption Watch, and Country Duty. That was the campaign, and I'd like to humbly wrap it up.